countdown is so exciting. Guys, I watched that countdown with you. I'm like really excited. I'm like dancing with that music. Oh my gosh. I feel like not to pull Ellen, like not to take any, thunder away from Ellen, but I feel like we should do dance intros. What do you guys think? Do you guys like dancing? I don't even know. Well, you guys are East Coasters. Well, most of you are. So if you don't, then what are you doing here? Anyway, hey y'all. Happy Wednesday. I am Elisa Perifico, date strategist of matchmakerreview.com. I do a bunch of different things. I run a really awesome community, my team and I here. Singles group, all that great stuff. And a lot of you have a lot of questions, and I'm super pumped because this is the premiere of Matchmaker Live, you guys. We're talking about your questions. We're talking about the how-tos, how to date, where to go, what to do, and whether or not you feel like you're a seasoned dater or you think you know what you're doing. It's a very confusing time for all of us, single people and married people and just people in general. So no shame. This is a love zone. This is a fuzzy wuzzy zone, but also like a really good community for us to get together. Let's rise up. Let's get some information. Let's help each other. Let's find some love. Let's find some real connections. And that's what we're about. So anyway, I'm super excited. For first episode today, you guys, we are going to talk all about how to plan a fail-proof date during a pandemic. Yes. Actually, let me say it again. How to plan a fail-proof date for two or just you during a pandemic. I had to shorten it because it's very long. But I wanted to bring this up, you guys, because for the same notion, whether you follow politics or television or whatever, it's a weird time, like I just said. So there's a whole bunch of new things happening, whether you agree with them or not. So in reality, especially if you're in the business of dating, as in you are meeting new strangers, as in you're spending new time getting to know strangers, it's important for you to have some tricks up your sleeve to be ready to meet someone. I mean, there's nothing worse than meeting somebody and then sitting there like a bump on a log, not having any ideas, because nobody likes that. But before we get into all that, I want to say, if you're here, we're giving special giveaway to our VIP community at the end of the live. So if you want a free membership, a lifetime membership to our VIP community, then you need to stay till the end of the live, and we will announce the winner at the end of the live. So make sure you do it. Anyway, even if you don't, but this is really going to be some really good stuff that you guys should hang out for. And if you're here and maybe you're wondering, okay, what's this about? Am I in the right place? Who are you? Check it out. I'm getting used to these graphics. Here we go. You're in the right place. One, if you're single. If you're tired of being alone during this pandemic, who isn't? Or if you are freshly dating and maybe you're fresh out of ideas, right? It's tough. There's a lot of new precautions like we just talked about. Indoors, outdoors, restrictions, no restrictions, feet apart, blah, blah, blah. Or maybe you're just like straight up bored. Maybe you have no idea. Maybe you've tried all the apps, all the websites. Maybe you've milked your network, whatever you've done, and it just hasn't come together. So let us know what your thoughts are, where you're at right now, what's going on, what's your state of singleness right now. Answer in the comments. We want to see what's going on. But to talk about today, the theme of today really is to talk about what we can do during this time. And to talk with me today is a very special person. I'm going to bring her on in a short bit after I talk, but our guest today is literally one of my favorite people in the whole world. Oh my gosh, look at this human. Stop. Are you so obsessed with her like I am? But you're going to be, because for a couple of reasons. One, she's the deepest person I know, like inside and out. She's amazing. But also two, she's just one of those people that constantly thinks about other people before herself. So what's really cool about Emily, she is the co-founder and co-baker of Donate Sundays. I had to practice that several times because I kept saying Donut Sundays, which, because there's donuts involved. Yeah, you just like donuts, you don't have a soul. You probably should get off this video cast if you don't. I'm just kidding, but really. So Emily is going to in a little bit, and she's going to tell us all about this really amazing event that she's throwing that you guys can come join, come date for yourself or with a friend or with a date, and also for a good cause, which is fantastic. So she'll be on in a little bit. But first, I want to dive in and strip this down a little bit, because we're here and we're talking about how to organize your time, how to ask people out on dates, and what to do. Because let me tell you something, and let me just start this with the fellas. There's nothing uncuter than a fella who's unprepared on a date. And same with the ladies, right? Ladies, men don't appreciate it when you show up in heels, you can't walk in, right? Like, it's cute for a second, but then, if they don't know you, it becomes very, very stressful. So let's break this down. Let's talk about, maybe some of you are like, backed up a little bit and thinking like, should I even be meeting anybody new? Let's start that aerial up here, because I think a lot of us are a little bit like, well, yeah, I'm lonely as heck and I'd like to connect with somebody. And so if it's like, well, what do I do? We're in a pandemic, like, what do you mean meet somebody new? And now, like, what do I do? Like, what are my options? And so, I'm not here to tell you guys what you should do either way, but one, you should be connected. There's no reason not to connect with people, number one, because obviously, look at us here. And so this is really easy. So connections should be happening regardless. And luckily, whether you feel safe or like you want to motivated meet somebody in person right away, there's a lot of tools at your disposal to do that. So I really, I want to preface with, if you're going to meet somebody new, you're going to have to take precautions, and we'll go over that in a second, but just be prepared, right? And like I said, guys, prepare, and I'm going to give you the breakdown in a second of what you can do on a date to be the sexiest, most prepared guy ever, and you will win every time. All right. So let's take it a step further then. Okay, here they are. What are those dating measures that should I take if I'm dating somebody new? Okay. You're like, okay, great. At least I met somebody. He's amazing. She's amazing. They're amazing. We're going to go meet in person. We're going to do it. What do I do so I don't embarrass myself? And I'm going to say that's a great question. Number one, you always ask what your date's comfortable with. Right, you guys, come on, let's be communicative. What's sexy is communication, okay? And I think what a lot of ladies don't know to tell you is that we love it when you are clear and you're communicative. So if you take initiative to say, hey, I get that this is a weird time, and I get that not everybody's in the same boat. So I would just want to be respectful to you. Do you feel, I've laid out a couple options. Do you feel comfortable with these? You have just won her like 5 dates in advance. Just with that little sentence, with that little bit of preparation, you've won her over 5 dates. She's going to call her friends and said, this guy had a plan, and I'm floored. Okay, so but let's go down to those precautions. Okay, so let's be simple. Okay, say you're going somewhere. What do you bring? It's always good. Here's your dating super pack. Okay, you are going to be the king of the world if you can. Number one, you got to bring an extra mask, one for yourself, one for your date, and a backup in case it breaks. Like, good, let's be prepared. Extra sanitizer. You guys have those little travel sanitizers like you get on airports. They're babies. And they even have like super nerdy, which I nerd out. I don't care, but they're like you can like hook them to your belt. That's me. And an extra bottle of water. And again, it can be little, like if you're going on a hike or something, like an extra bottle of water. And then especially as far as planning the date goes, if it's a first date, you guys, and the weather's getting a little bit colder, but you can take advantage, and we'll go over in a second some ideas that you can do in person right now. But again, just keep in mind places that you can be socially distant. You don't want to make your date feel uncomfortable. You just want to be communicative in that regard. But extra mask, extra sanitizer, all that kind of stuff. And if you have that ready to go without her saying anything, you're straight up the king. It means you have thought about this. It means you're a grown-up. It means it means a lot of things that a lot of people aren't thinking about. So you want an advantage. And if you have any questions, guys, by the way, I'm by no means a doctor, so please go to the CDC website. You guys, seriously, like, it's all listed there. Any weird questions you have about health and like how to what are the social I knew this was going to happen. Dan was like, by the way, that guy is super a catch and a half. So you guys should go. You guys should hit him up, Dan. Yeah. Okay, so check it out. So those are the precautions. Let me talk a little bit about. Let's back it up. Some of you are like, okay, I don't want to do anything in person. I'm still in the virtual space, which is cool, which means you have a lot of opportunity to like let your guard down. And here's the thing, you guys. When you're dating virtually, instead of in person, right? Because we were dating in person before, now we're dating virtually. When we do that, it's a less riskier of a situation in terms of what are the type of things you need to do to prepare yourself in terms of who you're meeting. So really the precautions are a lot easier. You don't have to worry about staying 6 feet apart because you're on a computer screen. Really, this stuff is, I'd like to say common sense, but again, sometimes it's not common sense because people don't say it. But it's like, okay, you don't give out personal information. That's not happening, you guys. And also, by the way, video chats need to be happening between you and a date. If somebody's not willing to go on a video chat, out of here. Come on, that's not real. And by the way, when we finally dive into our vetting episode, we're going to get into how many people are faking and scamming and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to teach you how to nip that in the bud real fast. Okay, so and like I wanted to say about this, you guys, someone virtually, it's actually ideal in the sense that it gives you time to be emotionally available. You don't have to, you don't have to react based on what's happening in front of you. You can prepare, you can wear pajama pants, you can drink, whatever, it's a little bit more of your own space. And so take advantage of this time because everyone's in the same area. If you're not somebody that is like super confident in going up to women or men, if you're somebody who's really busy and you're not connecting with people normally because you're running around at your job, hello, a lot of people are home still stuck in front of their screens, and hello, everybody's in the same place. We're in the same virtual bar, aren't we? So think about that. Just let it simmer. Yo, Tariq, what's up, baby? Oh, Tariq, what's up, you? Oh my gosh, I love that man. Oh, what's up, guy? All right, let's chat a bit about where we can meet some people right now who want to meet. Holla, go girl. Wait, real fast though, y'all, I want to say, because my girl Paula she's hopping on there. Yo, if you want the best matchmaker in Richmond, Virginia, Paula at Blue Matchmaking is my homie. Like, seriously, Virginia, that's what's up. Get down there. That's my girl. Okay, anyway, sorry, I got very excited. Got sidetracked for a second. Okay, okay, so I want to talk about where do we meet these people, you guys? And that's a really good question because a lot of it's about joining groups. A lot of it's about where is your neighborhood when they're not outside. And even if they are outside, it's not really the most organic or like sexiest time to like meet someone new. Like, let's even walk through that scenario. For example, like if you are going outside and there's someone else outside, you guys have masks, like, yeah, you don't like shout, can you hear what they're saying? It's like covered. It's not like ideal scenario to like woo someone. And so, I mean, already, right? It's like already a struggle before this, right? It just was. So just think about all the extra walls that have been created because of. So that being said, what can you do to help better streamline, better organize? Where can you go to make your efforts just be better received and you're not constantly failing on the dating apps or online? If you're not in our free Facebook group, guys, get in there. Like, come on, let's be real. Like, check it out. I'll even share my screen just to show you guys real fast, like how many people are even in this. Check it out. Check it. Wait. Hold on. I'm sharing the wrong thing. Hold on, this is my first time using this software. Hold on, I'm getting there. That was my sister's friend. It's her anniversary. Anyway, I think my team will bring that up for me at some point. Anyway, but I want to keep chatting about. Oh, that's not important. I want to get to really what the date. Hey Jay, what's up, girl? Oh, yo, girl, what's up? Lori in Florida, I love her. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about where you can join people, and that's the Honest Date Bar. Join our free Facebook group. My team is going to put the link. We'll throw up the link. Actually, you go to meetamatchmaker.com where you can join that group. We'll also throw a link at in the comments below. But also, boom, right there at the scroll, you guys can see you got questions. You just want to chat. You can join our group and book a time on my calendar. But let's chat a little bit about what are the actual dates. Like, what can you do? What's fail proof? You're like, Elisa, I showed up. I'm here because I want to know how can I not fail at dating? What is this brilliance that you have? Let's check it out. Okay, so say you're in the dating in person camp. Okay, cool. Let's start there. If you have limited days outside, regardless of where you are in the country. I mean, if you're on the East Coast, you're about to get real cold. If you're on the West Coast, the air quality is still super crappy out there. But anyway, let's, hiking, you don't have to pick anything crazy. Walks, parks, these are places that have been very proactive about keeping it clean. And so you guys can keep a proper social distance and you guys can, do those sorts of things. It also doesn't set you up to a point where you feel weird, you can't just show up to a restaurant that you did before because the parameters might be different and it might throw your game off and it might be really unsexy. I think that's what it is. If you can plan a date, again, with your dating super pack and, you've got a A, B, and C plan that, again, it shows you're prepared. It shows you're ready. It shows you don't mess around. It shows you're a boss. And it also shows that it's just going to help you guys actually do what you want to do, which is fall in love. Because the more obstacles you put up for yourself, the harder it's going to be for you to fall in love. So this is a good way to do that. Okay, so if we're in person, local park, hiking trail. If you are East Coast people, you better be apple or pumpkin picking. If you're not, I'm sorry. I don't have any answers for you. Also, I think we've heard about these recently, but there's drive-in theaters across the whole country. And what's kind of rad about this, you guys, is these have been struggling to stay in business for years. Drive-in theaters are still alive and kicking, and a lot of them are just kind of nonprofit, but now they've boomed because of everything that's happened. And it's badass. It's it's created an experience for you to see old movies, for you to have the old popcorn. And so again, you can, roll up with your date, you guys can be in the same car or not, depending how comfortable you are. But again, it's cool. It's creative. It's hella romantic, right? Even my own family and I, we've talked about trying to go to a drive-in theater. But it's a great idea. So again, all places where you can be socially distant, all places where you can be outside for a minute, all places where you can be prepared and be a smooth criminal. If you're going virtual, this is there's so many options going to make your head explode. What I would recommend is if you are dating somebody or you're just chilling with yourself, if you're a music person, every artist out there, because they're not touring as easily or they're just not touring at all, they're giving free concerts. They've never done that before. You're getting really unplugged, intimate stuff. Even today I was listening to I've got the Queen live album with Adam Lambert on repeat because I'm so excited. I was so excited. It was so bummed. We were going to go see the Madison Square Garden. We couldn't. But anyway, but it's all this kind of stuff. It's is available to you, and they're giving these very intimate concerts. So if you're connecting with somebody and music is something you guys are into, then whoa, boom, you've got a virtual concert. Pop open a bottle of wine. Choose a meal together, and now you've got a concert and you guys can talk about what you think. And again, super romantic and super intimate, and the awkwardness is taken out of it. You can see if you need some places to go to Grammy.com. They got stuff. Facebook has an unplugged series. That's where I'd recommend to start. And one more thing I would say, which requires a little bit more planning, you could do a virtual scavenger hunt. This idea was inspired to me by my husband. He is super creative when it comes to doing romantic things. And one of the first things he would do for me is send me on scavenger hunts. And it was cool because we would go all around the city we were living in. And so what's really cool about doing it virtual, you could do this as a hybrid, in person and virtually. Hey, Rach, hey, girl. And so you could do it in person and virtually, which is leave each other clues around your town, around your area, and get to know each other at the same time. So even if you haven't met each other in person yet, and still be safe, you can leave sort of what is that geo when you leave before I say something? I don't understand what I'm talking about, but you know what I'm saying? You can do a scavenger hunt. So, and again, these are really cool, creative ideas, and you're already creating a very intimate connection with somebody before even meeting them, because you're doing something different that stands out. And speaking of something that is different, that stands out, I am so beyond excited to bring on this my sister, my bestie, she's legitimate my best friend, if you guys can't tell, obviously. But anyway, we're gonna talk about donut days, and we're gonna bring her on. So everybody, give a big round of applause for my girl, Emily Sen. Woo! There she is.
Hi. What's
sorry.
Going on?
Squealing. Look at me squealing. Hi, I'm so happy you're here. I'm so happy you're here. Oh my God.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh my God, stop. You thank me. I literally was telling, I was just telling Emily this. So Emily and I do this weekly by ourselves anyway, because that's our way of getting through a pandemic. And even though we're both married, sometimes we need a date with each other as well. Also, we're not nuts. But anyway, so this is just funny. We like letting everybody in on our weekly
I
thing.
know.
But actually, no, but what we are chatting about these days, today is I think what I think is the coolest idea literally ever, which is called Donate Sundays. And we're here because we're giving people ideas of how to date in a pandemic. And in a pandemic, it's not many options that are like feeling safe, or that are even like, you know, that you can feel like, even if it is like you can go, you can't feel relaxed, right? Mm-hmm. And so I think this is the coolest thing ever, and I can't wait for our team here to do it, because we're all going to do it. And as soon as we figure it out, we're going to host a watch party as well. And Ashlyn, and we're going to do a watch party together. But tell us, what is Donate Sundays, and why is it literally the best thing ever?
Yeah, so Donate Sundays was the brainchild of me and another one of my best girlfriends, Stephanie Ganane, who lives here. I'm from San Diego, y'all, so California, what up? But yeah, so this year, exactly how you described it, Lisa, has been such a bizarre year in terms of maintaining any kind of relationships, whether they be new or, you know, if you're dating, if you're married, your friends, like just making that connection with people is just so hard and so odd this year. And Steph and I, obviously, just given our current climate in terms of the election, everything that's been going on this year in terms of social justice, just, you know, the climate, like it's been a heavy, heavy year, y'all. So Steph and I were really brainstorming. We're like, man, we want to feel like we're connecting with people, and we want to feel like we are spreading a message, spreading some love, spreading good vibes on what it is that we can do to stay positive and focus on something this year. So her and I are both bakers. Obviously, hence the donuts, and there's cake and cookies and all that other stuff. But we were thinking, we were like, man, what can we do to reach out to people, but also do some good and just feel good? I think we're all reaching for like that something that just feels good, that feels warm, that kind of feeds our soul. Because again, it's a heavy time, you guys. So we're like, hey, like if we can maybe host a virtual baking class, as we're seeing a lot of even well-known cooks and chefs and bakers are doing this format where we can host like a virtual donut making class, and donuts are actually pretty easy to make. Can we take the profits from that, or take all the donations from that and give it to an organization that we feel really passionate about? So we literally came up with this a month ago, and it came out of like a Friday night. We're sitting there watching a movie in our little quarantine pod of people, and we're like, man, we got to do something. Like we got to do something. And then Steph and I just started riffing. We came up with this idea. So the idea is that we're hosting like an hour class on how to make donuts. And again, they are super, super easy, y'all. And then we're collecting donations, $5, $10, $20, whatever you have, whatever you can give, whatever feels good. And we're giving that to an organization called When We All Vote. And obviously, given the timing of this event, like November 3rd is going to be literally the most important day of this year. And I think what's really important is that everyone needs to understand that voting really is your voice, right? It's a way that you connect with your society, your country. It's a way that you help make decisions on what your future looks like. So yeah, all that kind of came together in this like swirl of ideas. And obviously, like, you know, it's our humble little thing that we're pedaling along. It's the first time that we're doing it. It is so out of mine and Steph's comfort zone. But we felt like, you know what, like, if we're saying that we want to connect and we want to do something good, like, we're going to do it. So that's on October 18th. It's going to be at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. But I think that Lisa will share the link to sign up. But yeah, and again, 100% of all the donations go to When We All Vote. They are an organization that, again, is pushing a really important message and a really important purpose. We just felt like, you know, there's just a little bit that we can do and do our part just to kind of push that along.
Yeah, and I want to like bring this up. That's why I am so obsessed with this for so many reasons. One, because you and Stephanie are doing something way out of your comfort zone, which I find incredibly admirable, because I think we're all in a space where everyone's super tired of seeing everybody's polished Instagrams, right? Like, everyone's over there. And so I love when you're like, oh my God, this is super scary, but we're just going to do it because we want to give back. And I think that's killer. And also I love that it's just like, whatever, like, and guys, and here's the thing. It's like, they're two awesome girls who just want to give, and 100% of the proceeds are going to a good cause. And we're gonna make donuts, and I don't even care if this was $100 class. I need to figure out how to make donuts, because like, and also, and I'm so obsessed with for an actual date idea too, because like, Ems, like, you tell me, like, obviously you're married to the best man ever, but like, if a guy was like, hey, can I interest you in a donut making virtual class as I planned for our date? You'd be like, yes, like, 100%. What? How amazing is that?
If there's ever a time for people to get original and creative by, you know, either replicating what would have been normal or just coming up with something new, like, this is the time. And like, boys, like, if you want to score some points, like, really reach out there. Obviously, you know, keep within confines of being safe, but like, really get creative. And I mean, if somebody wanted to take somebody on a date here and be like, hey, do you want to make some donuts and like do some social justice and do like, just support like what is good on this world? Yes, like, sign me up for marriage. Like that. I mean, what a way to really truly make that connection. And like, again, in 2020, like, let's cut the BS. Like, if something's important to you, like, if you really want to make a connection with the person and understand deeply, like, what moves them, what shakes them, what's important to them, like, why not? And like, and again, like, I'm trying to think of like some other like really fun like cooking classes I've seen. I definitely did one a couple months ago where a friend of mine was like teaching everyone how to make bread. Like, she got on that sourdough trend real quick. And she's been cranking out like loaves of bread since May. But it was so cute. And like, I was on a Zoom call with friends of mine that I knew I would not otherwise see unless it was at a wedding this year, because they're all on the East Coast. And it was just like, it was like an hour of like, oh man, like, I'm with people and it feels good. And we've all come together with this common interest. And it really does more for you than I think you can even imagine. And especially in a romantic setting where you're like trying to date someone, trying to get to know them, like putting yourself out there and being like, let's do something fun and creative. But like, you know, this is what's important to me in terms of like, I care about my society. I care about like the community around me. I mean, what more could you ask for in a person, really?
Yeah. I mean, and what a cool way to get to know someone. I mean, like, that's the thing. It's like, we're not, you know, we're in a very polarized country right now. So it's like, you know, and then everybody I talk to is at this point like, hey, cut the bull. This is where I stand, or I don't want to talk about it, or whatever. And so in reality, it just kind of helps air that stuff out faster. So
exactly. And honestly, I think that, so my husband and I, just to put a little plug for Jay here, him and I were actually old friends. We grew up together. We went to high school together. So when we actually started dating 10 years later, there's a lot of that background that you kind of, you know, get to pass because you were there for all that time. And I think one of the scariest things when you first start dating someone is as you uncover those layers, you're trying to follow the same steps of like, what are you, like, how much are you willing to give and how much am I willing to give? And like, if there's ever a time to understand that, you know what, time is precious, like, let's not waste a beat, like, cut right to it, like do something that you can do together to really like put yourself out there, have that other person put themselves out there. Cause like, you don't need to do this dance for like months on end. Just, you know, really just dive in there.
And I think, and not to like reveal too much, but I think I want to share something about you, which I think is extra beautiful, is like you guys really made this happen because you just felt like there wasn't, you just came up in a time when, like, regardless, I think everybody feels misunderstood, no matter what side they're on in every way. 100%. And it's just kind of a way for all of us to say, hey, I would love to hear your conversation, whatever it is, step on in and let's be respectful. Let's make donuts.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and I think that it's like, not to get too heavy, but they're like the conversations around like social justice, race, equality, all these things this year, you know, for me as a person of color, I'm a first generation born American, you know, that's something that really resonated with me this year, probably more than any time in my entire life. And as I reflect on the privilege that I've had and the opportunities that I've had to make a life for myself, to have a good career, to have a happy marriage, like beautiful friends, that's something that I was able to build because of the opportunities I've been given, right? It's like, can I give some of that back? Can I spread some of that wealth and that good juju to everyone else? And even if, and Steph and I have gone back and forth on this so many times, we're like, man, like, is this too small? Is this weird? Like, you know, you second guess yourself, and, you know, we're people too. And we're both marketers. So of course, like right off the bat, we're like, oh my God, this is how we're going to brand this. This is the idea. This is the format. And then we realize that it's us that we're putting out there. It's not anybody else. It's not our company. It's us two. You know, it gives you pause of like, is anyone gonna resonate with this? Like, is anyone gonna connect? But like similar to dating, it's like you're not gonna know unless you just go for it. Yeah. So to put yourself out there, like do it how you're comfortable, but like, what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah, no, I love it. I mean, really, you said something like, you know, don't be a brand. Like, I think you just said, like, just people just need community because people aren't brands. Like, guys, come on. No. So I love it. I love it. I'm so obsessed with you. You guys, please come join us. We're going to be there doing it too. You sign up. Give Butter at, we'll bring up that lower third in a second. But there it is, givebutter.com. Donate Sundays. You can see right there in the scroll. Sign up, you guys. All the proceeds go to an amazing cause and helping people get out there and vote, and also help bring people together. And even if you don't support the cause, you treating somebody to a donut class is amazing. So it makes you very creative. So check it out. We will be there too. So you'll at least have a friendly face in there. And Ems, I love you. I'm so obsessed with you. Thank you so much for coming on. And
no, I love you.
Thank you for creating this. Like, we need more of you in the world, and we all can't wait to come and take your class. So
I can't wait to see you there.
I love you. I love you. Thanks, Ems. Bye, girl.
Bye.
Bye, girl. You guys, so awesome. She's incredible. And like I said, super creative, super different. And that's what it's about. And also, at the very least, you won't be bored. Okay, cool. And so before we keep jiving, and getting to your questions, you guys, and chatting all about that, you know, a lot of what this is about, again, is answering your questions, like, and answering what you guys want to know. Because I certainly don't need to be up here talking to myself. But I really, you know, think in the dating space, there's just not enough, in dating in general, there's just not enough communication about what's expected. You know, a lot like the other pillars in your life, maybe health, finance, your education. You've worked really hard for these things. You have spent time on these things. You have spent years and for these things. But when it comes to love, you know, historically, life has told us that it should just happen to you. But that's not real, as we know. But still, that's the notion we have in our head, that love should just hit you in the face. It should just happen to you. You should just bump into it. But you didn't just bump into your job, did you? You didn't just bump into your education. You didn't just bump into healthy lifestyle. And if you did, knock on wood, I hope it stays with you. But a lot of what we're talking about too is thinking about, what is love? Where did it come from? And how do you recognize it? So I want to ask you guys a question about that, how you learned about love. So I want to give a little poll here, and we'll learn how to slide around here. But talk to you guys and put an answer below. You can just put the letter so we know where you're at. But how did you learn about it? And how did you know if you were in love? And I want you to think about this in the sense that, and this may not have been something that you guys have thought about. And I want to point this out because there's a lot of layers here. So let's back this up for a second. So let's think about it. So you're either in the camp of I know love because my last relationship was incredible and I miss it, and I'll know real love when that happens again. Or, maybe you're a widow or whatever the case is. Maybe you're still longing for that ex relationship. So maybe you're the person in the camp of, you had a relationship years ago, you haven't been in love since, and you'll know what that new love is like when you feel that way again, when you feel that butterflies. Or maybe you're in the camp of, hey, I haven't fallen in love yet. I've had crushes, I've had things, but not really love. So I look and see what's out there. I look and see what's around me, and that's what I use as an example. Because surely you've read books, or you've seen what's out there, and that's what you're using as an example. Or like your family. For example, maybe you're in the camp of C. Where it is, you hope to have a relationship like your parents. They've led by your example. So either way, you're in one of these camps. Let us know where you're at. And we're going to, it's a little teaser for next week's episode. And with that, I'm gonna just wing out recap a little bit, and then I want to chat, take your questions. But a couple things to keep in mind, guys. We're talking about how to keep things alive, how to keep things fresh, how to keep things exciting during a really weird and unpredictable time, and how you're supposed to be in the know and not be in the know and be connected and all that sort of stuff. So a couple things I want you guys to keep in mind. It's totally, first, I want you to take away, whether you're a guy or girl, don't identify, whatever the case is, having a plan to date is super sexy, okay? It is not unsexy to have a plan. And what does that look like? That doesn't mean you're a drill sergeant and you have to have people on certain time. That means have ideas, have options, have a little structure with flexibility. So for example, if you have 3 different examples, like I mentioned earlier, for example, say you're chatting with somebody and you're getting ready to go on a date and you got to come up with an idea. Okay, let's do hiking, let's do apple picking, let's do cider tasting or whatever, or a walk. So now you've got 3 ideas and you're giving options. And that will make you fabulous. And that's what we really, really want. Second takeaway is, if you guys are dating and something's not working, please change it. I know you know that in your brain, but if you're still in the same spot and you have been for years, I want you to ask yourself that question. Are you single, and how long have you been single for? If you've been single for years, I do not care the reason. And I understand that there are heavier reasons than not. I'm not saying I don't care. Of course I care. But it's not an excuse in terms of where you're at. So I just want you to evaluate. If you've been single for years, I want you to ask yourself, why? What is it? What is your belief of why you're single? And let that come to fruition. Because if you're still doing the same thing that you're doing now, that you were years ago, that you were still single, which is probably nothing, then it's time to change it, right? And it's time to stop expecting that the love of your life is going to come ring the doorbell. And even if they do, please don't let them in because there's a pandemic, right? Okay. Okay. And with that, enough spieling. I want to talk about questions. We've got a question. Why do guys always want casual hookups with me instead of natural friendships? This is a great question. Hey, Shanae, what's up, girl? Okay. So this is a very common question. I get a ton, and a lot of it has to do with where we're meeting these guys. And a lot of it is to, sometimes the most, how do I say, confident of fellas, aggressive of fellas, are the ones to steer clear from for a couple of reasons. One, because that's their way of getting exactly what they're looking for. And 2, anybody that's looking for a natural friendship is going to treat you with a certain amount of respect. And there are certain places that you meet people that are looking for that. Any gentleman who's looking, who has respect for you or your boundaries or your space, isn't going to like jump down your throat even virtually. He's not going to be the aggressive guy. He's not going to ask you out a ton of times until you say yes. That's we don't need any of that. But we really want to make sure that whatever it is that you're clear about what you want, and it's okay to be clear about what you want. It's okay to be clear that you're ready for a relationship. You know who you are, and you can lead with that. And if they're still pursuing you after that, and you just set the boundaries and you say, great. And I'm glad you feel that way too. And then you set the tone of what you're comfortable doing. If they're still being pushy, and that means they want to hook up. So that's the way you can tell between the two. Hopefully that helps, girl. What's a clear verdict on guys and gimmicks and pickup artist stuff? Great question. So I'll say this, you guys, in terms of pickup artist stuff, a lot of it has to do with just grabbing your attention. Okay. If you're really looking for, and again, maybe I'm misunderstanding this question, but if you're a guy, you know, like, oh, if it works or not, a lot of it has to do with, yes, it works, but it works because it's grounded in things that actual psychology, actual sociology. And ladies, if guys are using these things on you, please take it as a sense of flattery. It doesn't mean they have bad intentions. Sometimes guys are using these sort of things as ways to gain their confidence. So let's demystify what a pickup artist even is, right? Let's take the derogatory sense out of it. If somebody's looking to approach you, or somebody's looking for a creative way or an effective way to get your attention, and they've studied it, that is somebody worth talking to. If their intention is to pick you up and take you to bed, they're not worth talking to. But like I said, if you put in place those things like we talked about earlier about being clear with what you want ahead of time, those guys will weed out right away. And also those guys, they run away really fast too. And like I mentioned before, and I'll announce the winner in a little bit of who has won the free lifetime membership to our VIP community. But anybody in our VIP community is looking for a relationship. They're looking for the real deal. They're not looking to hit it and quit it. That's not what they're about. Cool. You guys are super, super great. And I think it's time. I think it's time we're going to actually announce a winner. I think it's time we're going to announce a winner. Okay. So before we do that, while my team sends me, they're going to send me a name. So, of who won. But before I even tell you guys, who the winner is, basically, I just want to bring up, for those of you who are watching and you have no idea what I'm talking about, welcome. My name is Elisa Privko. We run an amazing singles community. We're helping singles get together, figure things out. This is Singles School, helping you guys connect. And in our VIP community, what we're known for and what we do are dater checks, right? So if you're online, if you've been on apps, if you've been on sites, or if you're just dating in person organically and you're meeting new people and you just can't trust them, right? You just can't trust them. What do? Like, there has to be something in between meeting strange guys online, Dateline, and, spending a gazillion dollars. There has to be something in the middle for you guys to figure out. So what you need to think about is, when you're doing that, is what can I do to protect myself? What information do I need to know about somebody? What do I not? And so we run what's called dater checks, which is a checkup to make sure that the person you're talking to on your app is a real person, a dater app. Like, I can't tell you how many times people get scammed. And we'll talk about that in an upcoming episode. But again, this is so important, you guys, whether you're a man or a woman, on both sides or whatever, there are people scamming people right and left. So it's super important, whoever you're meeting, that you run a check. And with these checks that we run in our VIP community, you can see, financial status, you can see, make sure they're a good boy and girl, they haven't been arrested, these sort of things. but mainly you can make sure that they are who they say they are, and you can feel safe about who you're dating. Okay, cool. So, and also in our VIP community, you get to connect with other VIP members. You get to meet some really cool matchmakers, and it's amazing. And if you're not in it, you're not taking your dating life seriously. And if you want to be in it, then you need to join us, and you can join our free group, meetamatchmaker.com. If you want to have a chat with me to join the VIP community, you can book your call with me there, and we'll have a chat date strategy session about your dating life, and we'll talk about the dating life and get it all fixed up. All right, and the winner of our VIP group is Jessica Marie. All right, Jessica Marie. Woo, woo, woo. All right, so Jessica Marie, you won a VIP membership. Go girl, congrats, that's awesome. Amaze. To claim it, come chat with me. Go to meetamatchmaker.com. It's on the scroll at the bottom. You can just wait, it's coming. Meetamatchmaker.com and book a time with me on my calendar. And then to claim your prize and your free membership. Congratulations, that's super exciting. Your dating life is about to get a whole lot better, girl. Let's rock. Can't wait to meet you. Welcome. Okay, cool, you guys. That is all I have for today. This has been super duper fun. And you guys are incredible. I cannot wait to keep answering your questions and your comments. And if you have any questions or you have a story to tell and you want them on our show, please email us at support@matchmakerreview.com. We want to hear you. We want to answer your questions. We hope you join us live every Wednesday. We're here live. 8/7 Central. And like I said, we'll be giving away a free membership every week. So if you want one, make sure you stay live, and we'll be announcing live. Until next time, you guys, and see you soon. Bye.